Hi everyone, welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. In this present reality, where not many thought for even a moment to step up, Charley Pride arose as a genuine trailblazer, breaking generalizations and reclassifying the scene of down-home music with hits that resounded across ages. Charley not just turned into a dearest craftsman, but also embraced a rich way of life that many could merely fantasize about. Behind the style lay a frightful secret. A neglected house that once reverberated with chuckling and music is now standing quiet. Today, we'll investigate the uncommon highs of Charley Pride's vocation, the awful conditions of his passing, and the story behind his great total assets. Go along with us as we dig into the existence of a man whose inheritance rises above music and proceeds to move endless spirits. Charley Pride was a spearheading figure in the realm of bluegrass music, known for breaking racial obstructions and accomplishing surprising progress, in a sort that had been to a great extent overwhelmed by white specialists. At that point of his demise in December 2020, Pride's total assets were assessed at $40 million. His effect on bluegrass music is unquestionable. He was the second smash hit craftsman on RCA Records, following just Elvis Presley. All through his vocation, he became known as the first dark down-home music hotshot. A title that highlighted his weighty accomplishments in 1971, Pride was regarded with the Country Music Affiliation's Lofty Performer of the Year grant, cementing his place among the class' most noteworthy abilities. His graph-besting hits Counting Just Between You and Me, I Can't Really Accept That You've Quit Cherishing Me, I'm Simply Me, and Kiss a Holy Messenger. Great Morning reverberated with crowds and is still celebrated today. Prior to wandering into music, Pride was a gifted baseball player, having played in the Negro associations and lower levels, a demonstration of his flexibility and assurance. He later turned into a minority proprietor of the Texas Officers, further adding to his riches and inheritance. Charley Pride was brought into the world on Spring 18, 1934, in Sledge, Mississippi. Growing up as the fourth of 11 kids in an unfortunate tenant farmer family, Pride's initial years were formed by the cruel real factors of life in the isolated South. His folks, who worked the land for pitiful wages, imparted in him a solid feeling of flexibility and assurance in spite of the hardships of his initial life. Pride's enthusiasm for music started at 14 years old when his mother bought him his most memorable guitar. This gift would start a deep-rooted love undertaking with music. However, it was not the just dream he held onto before his music profession invested wholeheartedly was a gifted baseball player, and his physicality assumed a huge part in his young life. At 18 years old in 1952, Pride started playing for the Memphis Red Sox in the Negro American Association, understanding his fantasy about turning into a proficient baseball player. This was simply the start of a broad BAS vocation that would see him play for a few groups, including the Boise Yankees, Louisville Trimmers, and Birmingham Dark Noblemen. Anyway, as he played for these small-time groups, Pride's music kept on calling to him. He was drafted into the U.S. Armed Force in 1956 and positioned at Post Carson in Colorado, where he played baseball while additionally seeking after his melodic interest. In the wake of being released in 1958, Pride momentarily got back to the Memphis Red Sox, yet in the long run left the game behind for another way in music. It was during his time in Helena, Montana, that Pride's melodic ability really started to sparkle. He played for the semi-proficient East Helena Smelter Freedoms and begun performing locally. It was there that Pride got the consideration of R.C. a maker Chad Atkins, who assisted him with marking with the record name denoting the start of his music vocation. Pride's most memorable single, The Snake Slither Around Evening Time, was delivered in 1966, yet it didn't diagram anyway. His tirelessness paid off, and with his third single, Just Between You and Me, delivered in 1967, Pride accomplished his business advancement. The outcome of this tune prompted his most memorable, significant show at Detroit's Olympia Arena, and then some. Significantly, his presentation execution at the Fantastic Old Opry in 1967, Pride impacted the world forever as the first African-American craftsman to perform there. Sing A.D. Bailey in 1941. His attendance at the Opry was a crucial second in down-home music, appearing the business that ability as opposed to race ought to be the characterizing factor in accomplishment all through the last part of the 1960s and mid-1000s. 970's Pride amassed a series of hits that solidified his place in country music history melodies. Like All I Need to Offer You is Me, I Can Hardly Imagine How You've Quit Adoring Me, and I Prefer Love You accumulated far and wide approval, and in 1971 he did. Livered Kiss, A Holy Messenger, Great Morning, which turned into his greatest hit. The melody not just bested the nation outlines yet, in addition procured Pride critical acknowledgement in the music business, demonstrating that a black craftsman would be able to make standard progress in a type that had generally been overwhelmed by white entertainers. That very year, Pride contributed the Oscar-assigned melody to the soundtrack of the film. In some cases, an extraordinary idea further exhibiting his flexibility as a craftsman, the 1970s and 1980s saw Pride proceed to expand on his prosperity. His music resounded profoundly with crowds both in the U.S. and abroad. Hits like Mississippi Cotton picking Delta Town hamburgers and French fries, and I Don't Believe She's Enamored Any Longer further hardened his spot in the bluegrass music pantheon. His prominence was not bound to America. In 1975, he visited the Unified Realm, where his music acquired a dedicated following. Outstandingly, his tune, Precious Stone Crystal Fixtures, turned into a song of devotion for the two sides of the struggle in Northern Ireland. During the Inconveniences, a demonstration of the general allure of his music. Past his melodic profession, Pride's impact stretched out to other critical social minutes. In 1980, he sang the public hymn at the Worldwide Championship, impacting the world forever as the most watched game in the occasion's history. He would get back to sing the hymn again in 2010, further establishing his status as a dearest figure in American culture. His profession likewise saw him becoming one of the highlighted specialists in the 2016 For Eternity Country mashup celebrating 50 years of Down Home. Music in 2017, Pride delivered Music in My Heart, his first collection in quite a while, demonstrating that his enthusiasm for music stayed as solid as at any point next. How about we investigate his house now manor in Dallas, Texas? Later, Charley Pride wedded his significant other Rosine. The couple tracked down their ideal asylum in the core of Dallas. They got comfortable, a staggering 622 FT bequest that would turn into their family's shelter, where extravagance, nature, and solace met up in awesome congruity. The domain's French Norman-style engineering promptly gets the attention. As the doors open, the domain comes into full view, an exquisite, dignified home with many-sided plan subtleties that make it stand apart as one of dull Lay's generally one-of-a-kind properties. The outside alone is a visual dining experience, mixing the provincial appeal of stone with the tastefulness of exemplary compositional lines. Inside the house is similarly enrapturing, planned by the eminent engineer Charles Dilbeck. The bequest is loaded up with exceptional subtleties that give it character and warmth. After entering, visitors are quickly struck by the church building roofs, which make a broad and vaporous feel all through the space. The roofs, taking off high above, are supplemented by uncovered wood, radiating, adding a dash of provincial appeal and differentiation to the refined inside plan. Maybe one of the most charming highlights of the house is the variety of mind-boggling chimneys dissipated all through the bequest. These chimneys act as both useful and tasteful central focuses, welcoming the family and visitors to loosen up in the glow of their environmental factors. The home's stained glass windows add to the enchantment of the space, sifting light into the rooms as if it were that which washes them in a beautiful shine. Each of these elements, the roofs, radiates, chimneys, and windows, adds a special layer to the home's appeal, causing it to feel like each corner has a story to tell. Past the primary house, the bequest itself unfurls as a sweeping scene loaded up with excellence and serenity. The 1-1-6 section of land property offers a quiet retreat from an external perspective world encompassed by lavish plant life and painstakingly manicured nurseries that add both protection and regular normal magnificence to the home. A key lake sits settled inside the grounds, its quieting water adding a feeling of quietness to the bequest. The open-air spaces are similarly as cautiously planned as the insides, offering an assortment of regions for unwinding and amusement. At the core of the property is a cat. Head-roll like a cabana, which fills in as a rich open-air living space with its own huge chimney, the cabana turns into a comfortable retreat on cool nights, offering an ideal spot for close social occasions or calm snapshots of reflection for those who love outside entertainment. The home flaunts an enticing pool ideal for absorbing the Texas sun or chilling on warm days. The domain likewise incorporates conveniences that take special care of an assortment of interests and exercises for sports devotees. The game's baseball field offers an ideal space for family games, or, on the other hand, relaxed rehearsals for the people who appreciate evening social occasions or open-air meals. The fire pit and stone deck give a wonderful setting where companions and family can meet up and partake in the outside under the stars. Notwithstanding the primary living spaces and open air, the property likewise offers critical potential for development or extra living space. Over the larger-than-average 3-vehicle carport, there's an extra 1,278 square feet. Thanks for watching this video.